Hey, Leslie, are you there?
Yes, Chief, I'm here.
So how do I change my name? And, you said you wanted me to put, fire chief on there? Brian Dempsey and fire chief?
You know what, let me do it right here, so.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
Ah,
now
it's
we'll
too
let out,
long. Jenny,
how
let's
about
see.
FC, fire chief, or just chief?
Whatever. Okay.
So will it always stay up there if I, next time I sign on?
Did I spell chief correctly?
Yeah. Mhm.
No, I think you have to do it in your settings. So every time you
Okay.
log in, it will be accurate. I gotta do it for mine too, so I want mine to say City of Seaside when I log in as a host, and then Leslie as I log in as an individual. Okay, so I have us live on YouTube now as well, so just so you all know, it is recording, and it's live.
You've got them all muted, it looks like. I'm gonna
All
mute
right.
myself, I think.
Okay.
You did unmute me, Leslie.
So I muted everyone, but you all have the ability to mute and unmute yourselves now.
Okay.
So whenever you are ready to get started and you see everybody is logged in that's supposed to be here, go ahead and take it from there.
Okay, I just want to check. I only see Commissioner Mancini, Commissioner, I apologize, Mabette.
Mabette.
Perfect. Commissioner and Vice Chair Schofield. And is there anybody else from the committee?
It looks like we have someone on the phone with a phone number of 394-6480. Does anybody know who that is?
I don't recognize that phone number.
Leslie? Leslie?
Yes, ma'am.
That's my
Yes.
phone number, or Jessica, whoever.
Oh, it
That's
is.
394-6480.
Oh, you're showing up twice. That's why I was
Why am I
curious. It
showing
looks
up twice?
So when you log in on the computer, and then it asks you if you want to join audio on the computer or on a telephone, if you do it on a telephone and it gives you a participant ID number, if you enter that, that will sync up your video and your telephone. If you don't, you show up as two different people. It's not a problem, but...
Yeah, you got me confused. I'll stay right here talking.
You're perfectly fine. You're doing a great job. Don't worry about it.
Should I mute me?
When you're not talking, yes, please.
Okay. It's star mute. Okay.
Okay. Well, then I do believe that we have 4 commissioners out of our 6. And we have a quorum, yes? Excellent. All right. So then will you take that as a roll call, Chief?
Yes, I will, sorry. I'm unmuting in 2 different places. Gwen Nash said she was joining us as well for a half an hour. I don't see her up here, so, but I have the roll call and we do have a quorum.
I'm here.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Good to know.
Okay. And at this point, if anybody needs a review of the agenda, please pull it up and take a peek. And I will start the meeting, I guess, officially. I know Leslie kind of started it for us, but with the roll call and the review of the agenda, I guess we can open it up to any public comment that was submitted.
Is there anything, Leslie?
Nope, I received no public comments
Okay.
so far.
Okay, then I'll move right into our business item, and I will let Chief have the mic.
Okay, I'll read the staff report, and then we can go to discussion. So, the purpose of this item is to approve allocation of funds from Homeless Commission budget to local food pantries to restock due to the COVID-19 crisis in the amount of $5,000. Funds to be distributed at $1,250 each to Greater Victory Temple, St. Francis Xavier Church, Lighthouse Baptist Church, and Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. So the background, on August 15, 2019, City Council approved a resolution authorizing the transfer of $5,000 from the fiscal year 1920 city budgeted funds from the City Council budget to the Homeless Commission budget. The purpose of the transfer, when the Commission is made aware of opportunities and issues that need immediate attention, the Commission could act swiftly to respond to the immediate needs of the community prior to the next regularly scheduled City Council meeting. Due to the impacts of the COVID-19 crisis on local food pantries, the Homeless Commission wishes to distribute $1,250 to each of the 4 local pantries. Again, Greater Victory Temple, 1620 Broadway Avenue, St. Francis Xavier Church, 1475 LaSalle Avenue, Lighthouse Baptist Church, 1030 Hilby Avenue, and Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, 390 Elm Avenue. And I'd be happy to give a little background on why this particular item came forward if you'd like that.
I think that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, so Reverend Lusk approached me maybe a week ago, and he feeds a number of individuals on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and a number of homeless individuals as well, but a number of community individuals, and he said there's an overwhelming demand and he's running low on funds, and asked if the Homeless Commission could donate $1,500 for that effort. I brought that to city staff during a team meeting, and it was suggested that we look to see if there's other food pantries within the city of Seaside that possibly could use similar assistance. We pulled up 3 additional ones on the internet that advertise that they have food pantries, and Dan Mewis, our recreation director, confirmed that, and it was the additional 3 other than the Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, which Reverend Lusk is from. And so it was suggested if we approach it maybe to assist all those organizations as opposed to just one, that may make more sense. And so with the $5,000 maximum, that lowered that $1,500 request to $1,250, and that's why we're here. And I leave it up to you for discussion, approval, or amendment.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to do a round of discussion between the commissioners, then open it up to the public, and then have a second round of discussion. I'd like to start with Commissioner Nash because I know her time is limited. So if you want to unmute yourself and share any thoughts, and then we'll go in turn after that.
Okay, I'm just a little bit clear on the with the request for more funds. I'm really not clear what actually transpired that more is needed. That's all. Just a little bit more clarity on my part.
So your question is, were there a request for more funds, or?
Well, I'm understanding one ministry is asking for more, right? Am I correct? And we've decided to allocate it to everybody to make it an even distribution?
Yes, that's correct.
Initially, they've utilized what they have already, and falling short for some particular reason, and I'm not sure what that reason is for, is what I'm saying.
So I think Chief, and he can clarify if I get something wrong, but initially there was an interest in asking the Homeless Commission for a donation to and to add to reach out to us so that we can provide some funds to get some more food bank supplies for a particular faith-based community facility. Okay.
So I guess I'm not sure what transpired that they are short. That's all I'm just trying to be clear on, if they need more. And with that request, we've decided to put on the table to give everybody more and distribute it equally, correct?
Yes, yes. So they ran out of the stores, their cache of food bank supplies that they would normally have because of the pandemic and the crisis that's happening. And I know that's happening across the county. So as the Homeless Commission, we have an emergency fund of $5,000 that we can allocate without having to go to the council to provide emergency assistance. And this has been designated under that, so that we can allocate those funds if that is what the commission decides to do.
Okay, I just didn't know if they've already utilized what they had already, and this particular entity just needed more. But we're coming back, is what I'm trying to be clear on, to make it fair across the board, is to allocate to everyone. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Mancini, do you have any thoughts on the initial discussion?
Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello? You can hear me? Okay. Okay, yes, I have mixed emotions on this allocation, because I know that a lot of the foods that are coming to the churches are through the food bank. The food bank is the hub of it, and then they filter down to the food to the different churches. And so I was curious, because I thought, are you just going to use Seaside as Seaside residents, or is it for everybody that's in the church, or is it the whole community, because the food bank is Monterey County? And that's one of the questions I have. And for sure, whose oversight is this? Is it going to food, or is it going to their general fund? I want some accountability for that, because I called the food bank, and $1 buys $5 worth of food. So $5,000 would buy $25,000 food. And the thing is, the food bank is there, and that's what its purpose is to filter it down to the communities. So aren't they going through the food bank for this allocation of food? And they are doing in Seaside on Amarina on Tuesday and Thursday at Hertzinger Plaza. They are going to be giving away food for the people who need it. And they just have to go down to the plaza, and they will put the food in their trunk, and then give it, and it goes to the people who are in need of the food. So that's what my questions are right now. In me, I don't feel it needs to go to each church. I think it needs to go to the food bank, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I am so sorry. Commissioner Mabet?
I kind of agree with the idea of it going to a food bank, because if $1 is equal to 5, then wouldn't we get more out of it if we donate the money to the food bank instead? Because I think we would be able to use, or the churches would be able to use the food more if we give it to the food bank so that they can distribute it to the church, if that makes sense.
Thank you. And Vice Chair Schofield?
Hi, I am in full support of giving the money to the different churches, as already discussed in terms of the allocation that's being discussed. The churches are multiple different locations that are already set up with food banks, and it allows different people that are homeless to access different locations based on proximity and ease of access, which varies depending on the person who's homeless. And this, to me, is a smart way to provide support from that $5,000 total that we have access to right now as an emergency fund without asking, needing city council approval. And given COVID-19, it seems to me a very pressing matter that we can give this support right now, basically, if we agree. So that's all.
Thank you, commissioners. I'm also in kind of a torn place. The Monterey County Food Bank has done an amazing job of working with MPUSD and all of their local contacts to facilitate getting them as much support and resources as they have possible. I recently saw pictures of their entire warehouse just stripped of everything. So I know that they're still in desperate need of funding and product. I do also know that the Monterey County supervisors just allocated about $250,000, which honestly won't go very far, but and I don't know if that's already been triggered. But I do agree that these 4 facilities in our community will target and may know of some of the most vulnerable people in our community. They have plugged in, they know where they live, they know the ones that the families and the individuals that don't have access to get to the grocery store, that can't get to MPUSD to get to-go food. They are, as our vice chair mentioned, they are connected enough to get the people that may not be able to get to a food bank that Monterey County Food Bank has designated as a facility for that day. They may not be able to get there. And I know that I've struggled with how to meet my own neighbors' needs, and it's becoming so personal that we need these facilities to reach out to the most vulnerable. And so I would like, if there is any public comment, I would love to hear from them, and then we can do another round of discussion after this. So I don't know if Leslie, if anybody's mentioned anything.
May I make a comment, please, Jessica?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. The one thing I probably should have added to the staff report under our fiscal year 2019-20 work plan, under B, engage, amplify, and collaborate with organizations that work with our neighbors who are unhoused. First bullet point, work with the Salinas Food Bank and faith-based food banks. So it does fall within the work plan, so we aren't going outside that parameter.
Thank you. And Assistant City Manager Milton, has there been any public comment or anything for this discussion yet? Sorry, I missed that.
Unmute. Sorry, I was muting in 2 places as well. No, we haven't received any requests for public comment.
Sorry. Hopefully Chief answered some questions. But if you need some more clarification, I'm going to go around another round in the same order. So Commissioner Nash, if you're still with us, do you want to add anything
Yes.
more?
Yes, I'm still here, and I'm a little clear on the process of what we're trying to establish. And either way, we as a majority are going to vote. I have no problem with it. Either way, I'm satisfied.
Thank you. Commissioner Mancini?
Okay, hear me? Jessica?
Yes, thank you. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I know, well, I know neighbors are taking care of neighbors too. You're saying the churches, but a lot of people who need the food and stuff, neighbors are helping neighbors. Like my husband is going down to get food to take to my friend who has COPD and should not leave her house with all this going on. So he has told me, he says, I'll go down and get food and I'll bring it to Renee, and that's how we'll do that. A lot of neighbors are helping neighbors. Now you're saying that the food at the churches is wonderful, but I think that they can get their foods and stuff through the food bank and then give it to them, because that's what it's for. But I think that a lot of neighbors are helping everybody out at this time of year, and I know that the food bank will get more more, what do you call it, more for the money, and then it filters through. That's my opinion.
Thank you. Commissioner Babette?
I kind of agree with how wherever the money goes, it'll help. So I don't really mind wherever it goes because it's going to help people anyways. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Vice Chair?
I'm still really in support of the money going to the churches, to the food banks that are at the churches. One of the main things I hear over and over again from people that are homeless that I go out and I meet with and I talk with is about accessibility, because I'll recommend something and say, oh, you can go here. And they say, well, I can't get there. So again, because the food banks are already established and have been successful at the different churches that we're discussing, and people who are homeless are already going to those different churches. To me, it's just a matter of the need is already there. The people are already going there. The churches, as far as their food banks, have run out or are low. I don't know the exact particulars, but on food. And so given that we can help right now with this, and it being emergency funds, and as also Chief Dempsey said, one of the ways that it mentions possibly allocating is to churches, to their food banks. I'm still in support of this as a good way to help out right now.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to add to that, this is Nash, that even looking forward to what we're trying to establish in the future as well before this came up, will really definitely show us as an entity that is trying to reach out to them, so that when we do go back to request other support, we show that initially we're supporting in this way as well. So I do agree with that comment as well.
Are there any other comments or thoughts before we potentially make a motion? Is there anyone that would be interested in making a motion?
Commissioner Nash makes a motion that due to the impact of the COVID-19 crisis, that the food budget funds be allocated to the various churches that are mentioned.
And is there a second?
I second it. This is Alva Schofield.
And how many do we have in favor? If you would just state your name, please, in favor.
Mariel Malbe.
Jessica Hare,
Alva Schofield.
Gwen Nash.
all those opposed?
I'll just abstain.
And we have one abstained. So the motion passes with 4 in support and 1 abstained. Okay, all right. Well, I'm really excited to see all of you. As a side note, this has been very hard, and I miss our crew. So, is there? I know everybody has a lot going on, but if there's anything else for commissioner reports, I know we don't necessarily have that on the agenda, but I don't know when the next time we will meet will be. If that's appropriate.
Jessica, this is Brian. I'm going to attempt to have it would be a special meeting because it would be on Zoom, but for the same date that we would normally meet at the end of April. We'll put an agenda together and see if that works.
Ah, that sounds fabulous. I think we will all look forward to it.
Sounds good to me.
Well, I'm very grateful for everyone. Please all stay healthy and safe and wash your hands and take care of each other. This is, yeah.
Yes, yes, everybody, make sure you wash your hands and stay nice and warm and cozy and find things to do.
Yes. Thank you, Marilyn. All right, everybody.
Thank
may
you.
I have a motion to adjourn?
Gwen Nash, I make a motion that we adjourn with business until we meet in our next designated meeting date.
Beautiful. And a second?
And I will second that.
Beautiful. All those in favor?
Okay,
Aye.
Bye.
Lovely evening. Thank you so much.
have a good evening.
This was great. This was great. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, that's it. Okay.